Hey y'all, JS Creations Art Sanity here, and I'm going to do a hydro dipped tumbler that's going to be an ocean themed. So I've filled up my tub here just from the hose, and I've let my water set to warm up to like room temperature. Now I'm putting my spray paint. I'm using, it's all Rustoleum brand. The light blue is a Satin Seaside. The dark blue is a Satin Lagoon. And then that golden color is a champagne pink. Like I said, they're all by Rustoleum. I am dipping a 32-ounce slim Hogg tumbler that has been prepped in a base coat of white. So as you saw, I just sprayed my paints in there. I dipped it. I wasn't quite sure about it, so I said, let's go for it again. I didn't clean my water. I sprayed more paint in there, dipped it a second time, and decided to leave it like that. So here it is. This is after the second dip. I am going to let this dry before doing my next step. So for dipping tumblers, I would recommend that you have your tumbler sealed inside so that none of your paint gets inside the cup, because it is very hard to clean out that spray paint when it gets inside your cup. So shove some plastic bags down in there, a pool noodle. You saw on this I had a football shoved in there, so no paint and water got down inside. I have some on the rim, but that's easy enough to clean off. It's really a pain if it gets like all the way inside your cup. So once this was dry, I decided it needed something extra to it. So I decided to put some glitter on here. Now I'm using some Mod Podge and just a small brush. I went through my glitters, picked out about 3 glitters that kind of go with these colors and like the theme of the ocean dip that I did. And I'm just using that Mod Podge to follow the lines of the dip and just sprinkling the glitter on top of that Mod Podge. So this first one is a golden. It's called Toes in the Sand. It's a pretty color shift. All of my glitters I'm using are by Glitter Chimp. And like I said, just following the lines of the dip, sprinkling the glitter on there. I will put the glitter back in my jar. I don't waste anything, so whatever falls on the paper goes right back in my jar. Now in between each glitter, like I said, I'm going to use about 3. I wait for the first glitter, so I did the golden one first. I waited for that to completely dry, took a paintbrush, just an old paintbrush, and brushed off any of the extra glitter that was on there before starting my next color. So now here I'm on to the blue. It's called, I think this is the Caribbean. It's a ultrafine holographic. And then the last one that I use, it's called Breakfast at Tiffany's, which is an ultrafine as well. But like I said, wait in between those colors. So let them dry, brush off the extra glitter before moving on to the next color. And it doesn't take too long for the Mod Podge to dry. A couple of hours. So as you see here, I am putting my glitter back in my bottle. I still have my cup on my football and using, that jar. That's how I slip it back in there and wait for everything to dry. So once everything was dry, I do seal it with a couple of layers of that Rustoleum clear gloss spray just to help hold all that glitter into place for when I put my epoxy on. It doesn't float all over the cup. And now I've got it on my turner, and I am just putting a layer of epoxy on there, making sure that it's good and covered. I will hit this with my heat gun and leave it spinning to cure. Now I do a second layer. Before doing that layer, I am going to sand this cup down just to get everything smooth and evened out, which I will show you. So here, hitting it with my heat gun, I will leave this spinning to cure. So now I'm going to sand. This is, I'm doing this before I put my final layer of resin on this cup. I'm just sanding it all down, getting it all smooth. Getting any, smoothing out the glitter that might still be sticking up, any flaws in the first layer. Getting around the edges really good. Once I have this all sanded down, and I usually sand my cups outside. You shouldn't breathe in this dust, so make sure you're wearing your respirator and stuff. Once I get that sanded down real good, I take a dry shop rag, wipe off the dust, and then use some 91% isopropyl alcohol and scrub that down really good. I will put this back on my turner to put the final coat of epoxy on, let it spin to cure, and that's it. So here is the final cup. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, and leave me a comment. And until next time, see ya.